So this story right here is really interesting to me. Tulsi Gabbard apparently turned down RFK Jr.'s offer to be his running mate. Quote, "It didn't work out," a source close to him said. Former Hawaii Representative Tulsi Gabbard, who left the Democratic Party in 2022, declined an offer to be Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s running mate in his independent presidential bid, she tells ABC News. Quote, "I met with Kennedy several times, and we have become good friends," she said in a statement. "He asked if I would be his running mate. After careful consideration, I respectfully declined." Gabbard declined to explain why she turned down that offer, which has not been previously reported. She's among an eclectic group of people whom Kennedy had considered for the role, including former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura and TV host Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe. He announced at an Oakland, California rally last week that he had chosen Silicon Valley lawyer Nicole Shanahan, whose younger age, work in health and artificial intelligence appealed to him. Oh my God. I don't know why ABC News is going so soft, but let's be clear. The real reason he picked her is because she's fucking loaded. She was married to Sergey Brin or whatever his name is, and she's got all the money in the world. She financed his Super Bowl ad, which was like $4 million. And also, my speculation is he thinks she's hot and he wants to fuck her. Okay, let's be honest here. This whole show is for keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. I think those are the two main reasons that he picked her. The money and she's hot. Okay, let's continue here. Kennedy and his campaign did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Gabbard's statement. However, a person close to him told ABC News there were definitely meetings, but it didn't work out. So that's interesting. So in other words, Tulsi and her people went to the media and told them this. Well, why? Why would you tell them this? Why are you trying to get this fact out there in the streets? I think you guys know the answer. Because this is Tulsi and her team trying to make, oh, look, she's very desired. She's very wanted politically, you know, and she even turned down this very popular independent presidential candidate. Would anybody else like to ask me if I'd like to be VP? I'm going to hold my fire on that part of the conversation for just a second, but I have a pretty strong theory as to why I think she made this decision. We talked to a bunch of people. This person ended. Tulsi's a rock star no matter what. Gabbard's name has also been floated by some allies of former President Donald Trump to be his potential vice presidential pick. Okay, that's my theory. My theory is she's seen the chatter. She's seen the articles. She's talked to Donald Trump Jr. Her name is one of the top names in the ether floating around to be Donald Trump's VP pick. In fact, I think she was listed at CPAC and put in the poll there, and she didn't do bad. She finished like third or fourth or something like that. She's actually beloved by the Fox News audience, by the MAGA types. They love nothing more than a Democratic turncoat who like used to be with the Democrats, but now goes, you know what, actually Republicans are right about everything. And so, you know, her star is shining in these circles. So, look, I think the only reason why she turned this down is because she wants to be Donald Trump's VP pick. Well, look, I hate to say it, I got some bad news for her. I really, really don't think she's going to be the choice of Donald Trump. I'm pretty certain that it's going to be Kristi Noem or Elise Stefanik, and there's an outside chance of Donald Trump Jr., just because Trump knows that if he ends up going down and being found guilty on some of these cases, he knows that his son would pardon him in an instant, and anybody else, he doesn't know if they would pardon him. So I'm pretty sure number one on my list is Kristi Noem. I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be Tulsi, but I think she's convinced herself she has a real shot of being Trump's VP pick, and that's why she turned down RFK. So I'm like 90% on that being her reasoning. She's holding out for something better, but I don't think that's going to come to fruition. If I'm being really, really kind to Tulsi, what I could say is perhaps she turned down RFK because Tulsi Gabbard fully understands and knows that any independent presidential bid in the year 2024, because of how biased the system is doomed to failure. No matter how big your name is, no matter how much money you have. I mean, we saw Ross Perot got almost 20% of the vote and didn't get a single electoral college vote. And he was a billionaire. He had all the money in the world. He was allowed in a bunch of the debates back then. Even then, didn't work. This time, you're not even going to be allowed in the debates, RFK Jr., and it's even more rigged at the state level when it comes to getting on the ballot and things of that nature. So I think Tulsi understands, even in the best case scenario for RFK Jr., best case scenario where he gets like 15% of the vote, what comes of that? Nothing. And then from now until the end of time, no matter which candidate wins, if it's Trump or Biden, they will be accused of being a spoiler. That's what'll happen. If Trump wins, the Biden people will accuse her of that. If Biden wins, the Trump people will accuse her of that. So I think if I'm being really kind to Tulsi, she might understand that this independent bid is a road to nowhere and a road to irrelevance and being despised. So that might be a reason too. And again, if I'm being extra kind, I might say, I don't think Tulsi Gabbard believes much of anything. I think she's real finger in the wind, careerist, trying to go where she thinks she'll be relevant, right? But it's theoretically possible that there's something about RFK Jr., one of his big policy proposals that she just can't hop on board with. I mean, the thing RFK is most known for is being really against vaccines. Maybe that's one area where she's like, I just can't because I don't agree, but I doubt that. Now I'm being too kind to her. I doubt that. It's either the thing that she knows this is a road to nowhere, or she's just holding out for Donald Trump. But I don't think that's going to work out for her either way. But I find it's just so like weaselly that her team was the one that tried to leak this to the press to be like, see, we're a hot commodity. We're serious people. Everybody wants us as VP. Oh, I turned them down. Maybe somebody else will ask me to the dance. Like that's the vibe I get from this, and it's so desperate. Ugh. It's so desperate and so gross. I will say this. I do think that they would actually be a good fit for each other. They both occupy a similar lane, right? Like Tulsi used to be a Democrat, used to be a Bernie Sanders style Democrat, like more of an independent lefty type, right? That was her lane for a while. Then when she realized there was a dead end staying in that lane because Bernie dominated that lane and she felt spurned by the rest of the Democratic Party, all of a sudden it became a pivot towards like, actually, bro, I'm like sort of an enlightened centrist and I'm above the fray and like I'm going to bash the left the majority of the time. And then now with Tulsi, she's done the full Dave Rubin, where now it's like I'm just with the MAGA types. And I have that extra intrigue of being able to say, I was with the Democrats. I saw things from that perspective. I was a lefty. I was with them, but guess what, right-wingers? Actually turns out you're right about everything. And she's really letting her right-wing side hang out now in a very, very clear way. I mean, the day I knew she was gonzo for good is when she went on Fox News, which, by the way, she does a lot, or she did a lot, and she said, the problem with Build Back Better is that there's too much big government spending, and there's too much debt. We're adding too much to the deficit. It's going to lead to all these economic problems. And she was just making a flat-out right-wing libertarian economic argument when it wasn't that long before that she was running for president. She was talking about Medicare for all. She was talking about free college and raising the minimum wage and all sorts of New Deal Democrat type stuff, social democrat type stuff. And she did a total 180 on that. And I also took notice when Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. The entire media was shitting on him relentlessly because it was ugly. Yeah, no shit, it's ugly. The government is fake. It's a house of cards. The second it's like pulling a Band-Aid off. Yeah, it's going to fucking hurt. No matter what, when we get out of there, bad things are going to happen, but getting out is better than permanently staying in there as far as the eye can see. So Biden pulls out, the whole media shitting on him and basically arguing, implying, why'd you get out? You should get back in. And Tulsi, whose whole thing was getting out of Afghanistan, all of a sudden she's not saying anything because she sees that the political zeitgeist is 95% against Biden, 95% against getting out of Afghanistan, and all of a sudden, one of her biggest issues, she's not there to defend the president. She's not there to make the argument. So that also annoyed the shit out of me. But Tulsi and RFK occupy a similar lane now, which is they fancy themselves anti-establishment, independent-minded centrists, but that manifests in a way where most of the time they're just shitting on the left and sucking up to Republicans and saying, oh, they're misunderstood, right? That's basically the lane. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.